Hi, and welcome to the video on mean and mode. By the end of this video, you should be able to find both the mean and the mode from a set of data. So let's have a look at what the mean is. The mean, or average, is the sum of all the scores divided by the number of scores. That is, if we had a formula, the mean would be adding all the scores all together and then dividing by how many scores you have. The reason why we have the mean is because it allows us to compare two large sets of data and use one number to describe all of them. Let's take a look at an example. Here we have Michael and Kara, and they're students and they both sit 5 different subjects: English, Maths, Science, Hisy and PDHPE. What we want to know is who did better in these 5 scores, in these 5 subjects. Well, in using the mean, what we would do is we would add up all the scores and then divide by how many of the subjects or how many scores there are. So for Michael, we would add the 60, 50, 80, 80 and 70 together, and then we would divide by 5, making sure that we had the answer to our sum before we divided by 5. This would give us an average or a mean of 68 for Michael. For Kara, we would do exactly the same thing. The mean would be the sum of all her scores. We would find that answer first, then we would divide by 5, and this gives us a mean of 66. Here we can see that we can compare Michael and Kara's scores. Even though Kara scored the highest in science and got a 90, Michael did better overall in a number of other subjects. Unfortunately, Kara's marks for English and Maths let her down a little bit. But what if we were to add another score? What if we were to add another subject? Let's take a look at adding music. Michael did particularly poorly. He got 40 for his music mark, whereas Kara did very well and got 100. Let's see what a small score and a large score does to the mean. So with Michael's scores, we would add up all his subject marks and then divide by 6 because we now have 6 subjects. His mean is 63. For Kara, when we add up all her scores and divide by 6, we now get a much higher mean or much higher average of 72. A small score outside the mean, outside the group, will lower the mean, whereas a high score outside the mean will severely increase it. Now let's talk about the mode and how it's different. The mode is the variable that occurs the most. That is the number that occurs the most when you've collected all your data. Let's take a look at an example with shirt sizes. Let's say that I sold 6 shirts. I've sold 4 size 10s, a size 20 and a size 30. Let's take a look at what the mean would be for this set of data. If I were to add up all the sizes and then divide by 6, I'd get an average of 15, and that number 15 is supposed to describe those sizes. Let's say I wanted to order in some new shirts and I use the mean. I would be ordering in more size 15s, which doesn't really make any sense because I didn't sell any size 15s. In this case, the mean is not a good number to use in this situation. But what about the mode? The mode is the number that happens the most. In this case, it's a size 10, and I would be better off ordering more size 10s for my store. What I'd like you to do now is to pause and summarize this information, writing down what the mean is and the mode, and then getting a different example written down which is in front of you. And that's it for mean and mode. In the next video, we'll look at median and range and how they differ from the mean and mode. Good luck.